Okay, I'd like to share with you my most recent experience with Vipassana meditation. I just recently attended a 10-day Vipassana retreat and I terminated it 5 days earlier. So I left on the fifth day, halfway through. So I'm going to share with you my experience. Now keep in mind that this is simply my opinion. In other words, my asshole. Asshole opinion is synonymous words, right? You could even go look it up in the Oxford Dictionary. They say asshole equals opinion, opinion equals asshole, because assholes or opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. So don't take this experience, this perspective, this worldview of the experience, this subjective outlook on it. Don't let it encourage you. Don't let it encourage you, and don't let it deter you from perhaps one day attending these retreats. Okay? It should neither encourage you nor deter you. You should just simply sit down here and just listen. Just be like, okay, here's another asshole, another opinion. I'm just gonna listen to it, okay? And I hope that's why you tune into these videos in this channel, because again, it's just somebody really just displaying their asshole publicly. That's me. Displaying my asshole publicly. So here goes my display, my public asshole display, my experience of the 10-day Vipassana retreat. Now, it should tell you that if I left 5 days earlier, that perhaps I didn't find it all that useful, or I didn't find it all that resourceful, or perhaps 5 days were enough for me to get whatever the hell I got out of the experience. By virtue of me leaving 5 days earlier, clearly the experience wasn't all that enjoyable and all that resourceful, and that is somewhat of an accurate way of describing the experience. Of course, there are things which I benefited, so I'm going to talk about the benefits, the things that I benefited from attending this retreat and again terminating it halfway through, and things that caused me to terminate it halfway through. So in other words, things that caused perhaps stress on the energy system that is this in front of you here. So let's start off with the good stuff here. Let's start off with the benefits. So the 10-day silent retreat is silent. There's no words spoken, no technology, no phone. They take it away from you and they will give it to you back when you're done or when you decide to leave. You could leave anytime. So the silence was a breath of fresh air, and lack of technology also amazing. I I can't tell you how amazing it was. The only time I found myself craving technology, craving something, was music. Okay, I'd found myself in times where I just wanted to reach for my phone simply to play some a piece of music or something, because I'd start singing in my song and I'd want to listen to the song. But other than that, I never found myself in those 5 days, not even once, wanting to check the YouTube or what is being going on in the world, etc. And I really enjoyed that. I really found that a breath of fresh air. Not having anything to do really. You sometimes they give you rest periods in between meditations. You do meditate 10 hours a day, right? 10 hours a day, sitting in a sitting position. And when you go to rest or something, you just lay on your bed. There's like nothing to do, right? There's nothing to do. So that was pretty, again, a breath of fresh air is an accurate way of describing it. When you're accustomed to speaking every day, you come into this world, sliding into this dimension, popping out of a womb into a world that uses language as the basis of communication. It's pretty refreshing not to have to speak to anybody for 10 days. Well, in my case, it was 5 days. So when I left the retreat 5 days in, I didn't find myself itching for communication or anything like that. But also communication came back very quickly and very easily, because if you've been speaking all your life, 5 days or even 10 days aren't gonna exactly make you quiet or silent by any means. So it didn't take very much to get back into speaking and communicating. In fact, even if I stayed full 10 days, it really would have felt just like, boom, here we go again. Because, again, 28 years of speaking, that's 10 days, 10 days not going to take that acquired skill and program away from you. So, really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed the absence of technology. And I very much enjoyed the mental gymnastics that was happening in my mind, because you can really start to drive you crazy. We're talking about 10 hours a day of sitting. Okay, you're not supposed to move at all. And if you move, somebody comes and taps on your shoulders and tells you not to move, or not, to fix your posture or whatever. So you're supposed to, first 3 days, just focus on your breath, focus on the tingling sensations around here, and then after that, scan your body with your awareness. You're not supposed to think, but of course, who's gonna do that? You're still thinking. So I did a lot of thinking there, a lot of reflecting, and in fact, by the third day or second day even, I was starting to run out of things to think about. And whenever I ran out of things to think about, I just focus on my breath, like they told you to focus on your breath. Or I just chant a mantra in my head, which you're not supposed to do. There's a lot of not supposed to do in the retreat. Okay, it's quite restrictive, and I do understand why it is restrictive, and I do understand that they're trying to get a particular outcome from you by essentially restricting you to one pointedness, which is just simply focus on your breath and then focus on the sensations in your body, the 7 days to follow. So I definitely understand the methodology, and it is a methodology. It is a method. It is one particular method of, I suppose, achieving higher states of consciousness and awareness. Now, what prompted me to leave 5 days earlier? What is it that I clearly didn't find useful, didn't find resourceful, that got me to go and speak to the teacher, which was quite a hassle, because they don't want you to leave. They want you to stay. And it was a bit of a hassle to convince the teacher that I would like to leave. What got me to do that? Because not many people leave. Right? I think I might have been the third or fourth person to leave. And most people usually stick it through and they do it. And most people report very positive benefits from the experience. But what got me to leave? What got me to get up and, again, go through the hassle of speaking to the teacher and leaving early? Well, I found it stressful. I found it stressful on the energy system, and I found it restrictive on the energy flow. Folks, sitting down for 10 hours a day for 10 days in a row and having only a 6-hour sleeping window, of which your sleep is so erratic and is so chaotic, and you're not getting those full 6 hours, right? And you wake you up at 4 a.m. I found that by the third day, I was beginning, the energy flow in the system was beginning to get drained. And I was beginning to burn out. And in fact, by the fourth day in the evening, which is when I decided to leave and I spoke to the teacher, then I was let out on day 5. I was beginning to feel as if I had just came from a 40-hour flight, because that's exactly how I was feeling by the fourth day in the evening, and I'll tell you why. But it exactly reminded me of my most recent trip from Ottawa, Canada to Copenhagen, there was many flight delays in it. The whole thing took about 40 hours. And I was, by the fourth day in the evening, I was beginning to feel like that. I was beginning to feel like, like that exact same feeling of burning out, of exhaustion, of tiredness, of, no focus. And I simply wasn't able to focus on meditation. I wasn't able to focus on my breath and then scanning my body, and which was what I'm supposed to do. And that's for many reasons. First of all, the sleep deprivation was beginning to take its effects. So, in a sleep deprived state, your attention and your awareness are just highly compromised. And that's, I guess, one thing they want you to do. That's, it's part of the design of the retreat is let's get you to be in a pretty energy depleted state of consciousness, and let's see how you can keep your awareness in that. So I see what they're trying to do. Believe me, I see what they're trying to do. I guess that's just not the way I like to do it. It's not the way I like to do it. It's sort of the school of hard knocks. It's a masculine way to go about things, right? It's kind of like we're gonna put you in the worst possible scenario and let's see what you could do in it, right? I don't prefer to do things that way. Uh, I don't prefer to do things that way. The no pain no gain model is a clear characteristic. It's a clear character of the Vipassana retreat. It's the no pain, no gain model. It's almost like they want you to be in pain. Because when I spoke to the teacher, he was telling me, no, you can push through the pain. You're supposed to be in pain. It's a no pain, no gain model. The Vipassana is a no pain, no gain model. And I have had such deep experience with these models in the old days of fitness, in the old days of wrestling and martial arts, that I have grown out of sync with those models. I don't prefer to do things that way anymore. And so there was a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, because you're supposed to sit, by the way. You can't, I mean, can't tell you how many taps on the shoulders I got in those 5 days telling me to fix my posture, or sometimes because I'm so sleepy, I would just go into this posture like this and I would put my head down like that, and 10 minutes later, somebody taps you on the shoulder. Straighten up, right? So, you don't stretch there. You just get maybe a couple of hours of rest where you could walk, right? So, there was a lot of physical stress on the vehicle, on the body as well. And in fact, I still have that now. I'm on three days, or this is the fourth day today after. I'm waiting for my friend. She's gonna be finished in a couple of days, so I'm just hanging out in a hotel. And when I said by the fourth day in the evening, I was feeling as if I had been jet lagged. I'll tell you what, it took 3 days now for me to recover back my energy, to recover, to raise the energy flow through this energy system again. It took 3 days. I didn't have any energy on those last 3 days to make videos, to do anything. Just laying around here in bed, pretty much. I didn't have any energy. It literally felt like I was jet lagged, and I began to lose what is the point? If I'm gonna meditate, I would like to be fully there, fully, have the energy flowing through the system, through the vehicle, through the body, because, mind and body are just so interconnected. And I just didn't see the point. I honestly, in all honesty, I didn't see the point. I'm so drained here, and I'm trying to meditate. Why am I doing that? Why am I not in a more restful state where again, it's that whole thing with no pain, no gain. I found that if I meditate for 1 hour in a high energy state, meaning I've been taking care of myself, I've been eating, doing some fasting, stretching, walking, an overall balanced lifestyle. If I meditate for 1 hour, I found that 1 hour is a lot more useful to my life than what I was trying to do in the retreat, which is, it's a school of hard knocks. You're knocking down 10 hours a day, 10 hours a day. I feel like you would have to really develop a high tolerance for sitting and for meditation before you even embark on that. And that's absolutely on my part. I mean, I clearly wasn't ready for such an experience, to just sit for 10 hours. And it's just one, you just sit. You're not moving, you're not stretching, and you just sit. And it is one way of meditation. There are many, 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 many ways, many methods to achieve higher consciousness, higher awareness. And I had found that the things that I have been doing prior to going into the retreat were much more use to me, because I went into the retreat pretty much in a very high energetic state. I've been doing lots of humming. I've been talking a lot about humming. Humming is my favorite way of meditating. And I had been doing a lot of stretching, hatha yoga, a lot of just a balanced lifestyle. And I went in there very much in a high energetic state. In a high energetic state. Only for me to come out of it in the fifth day absolutely drained. Like I said, it felt like an experience where I was jet lagged. I just had a 40-hour flight or something like that. And it literally took me 3 days. Today is the fourth day of sleeping. I've been sleeping, just sleeping, because there's no sleep practically. you're in a sleep deprived state. Today I feel that, like, I woke up, I'm like, yes, energy. I mean, isn't that what we're after, folks? To raise the energy? So it was kind of weird for me to go into this experience and see my energy get drained in the name of I want to achieve enlightenment, higher state of consciousness. Higher state of consciousness is a more cultivated energy system. And that's not my experience. I'm sure it's different for many others. If you go watch, most people's experiences of the retreat are overwhelmingly positive. So again, I'm just displaying my asshole to the public here, my opinion. But I'm saying I went in there in a highly energetic, energy cultivated state. By the 5th day, I was completely drained. Like I said, today's the 4th day. I slept not 9 hours last night, 10 hours the night before, and 11 hours the night before. Only today I woke up, I'm like, oh, all right, I'm back, baby, right? And I want to make videos now, and I'm going to go probably, walk all day, this, explore Yangon, the city that I'm in. But really, I was like, the energy was just drained because, you're sitting 10 hours. I mean, I got a little injury here too from sitting right here around my rib area. Body's very tense. And yeah, that I didn't find that all that useful. So I like a more balanced approach, an approach that cultivates, that looks at this system, sees it as this complex system that requires several tweaks to cultivate the energy. And one of them is, taking care of the body, because you can forget about the body in a retreat. Forget about the body. You're sitting down for 10 hours a day. There's no time or place to stretch. You're lucky to walk for an hour, because even in those rest periods, you're so exhausted, you end up going to your room and just laying on your bed until the bell rings for the next meditation session. Your sleep from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. But again, you're a very, very lucky person if you sleep all the way through the 6 hours, which are not enough. So I was maybe sleeping 4 hours a night. And that's why I said by the 5th day, I was just completely burned out. Again, body isn't getting any exercise. It isn't getting much movement, no stretching. You're sitting down in this position, in these rigid positions. And it's very restrictive. Like I was sitting one time in a meditation, and I was really raising the energy, really focusing on my breath, really raising the energy. So I raised the energy, and I was feeling this energy of gratitude and love come up. So then I'm sitting in the position, in a sitting position, and I go like this, right? I do I can't do it because I'm holding the selfie-stick, the gratitude thing. I just hold it like that, the position. 5 minutes later, I get a tap on the shoulder. Please keep your hands like this, on your lap. So even that, it's very restrictive in that sense. And I find meditating on my own, even in this room here, I could cultivate a lot more energy in a lot shorter period of time. So I suppose that particular method of meditation, the Vippassana, the silent, the sitting for many hours, isn't for me. I felt like I was trying to put on a shoe that wasn't fitting. That's how I felt. I was putting on a shoe that wasn't fitting. Again, there are so many methods. That's the thing with meditation is pick the method you love. That's something I learned here. Pick the method you love. Because I could sit here and hum 3, 4, 5 hours at a time. I love that. I could just hum. I love it. You see, I love it. That's my particular method. I found that for this asshole here, this is an asshole projecting his asshole, that sound works for me in everything. I got this pretty vocal voice. I'm a speaker, right? I do a pretty damn good job at it. And it also happens to be my favorite way of meditation, is using the voice, using, chanting and humming. These are things I could go on doing, and I get an enjoyment out of them, and I feel the energy, and I express the energy. Okay, I express it. I move with it, and I found it's very important for this thing here to move. I really, that lack of movement, it absolutely drained the energy that is flowing in the system. The lack of movement. Because again, you're sitting for 10 hours a day, and I mean, you get it. If you feel like a rise in energy in the meditation, uh, you can't express it per se. You have to sort of, it goes inwards because it's silence, and you can't, because a lot of times, if you're having a meditation experience and suddenly something happens, or wow, and you feel like, you want to, I just be like, and say something and express it. Well, you can't do that there. You can't do that. And again, that's something that it was beginning to get on my nerves. So by the fourth day in the evening, I was so drained out of energy that I thought I have to get out. I feel like I just took a 40-hour flight with no sleep, and I came in very high energy. Then the energy got drained, so I got to get out. And now it took me about 3 days. Like today's the fourth day out to finally get back into that higher, more energy cultivated state. I've been sleeping, like I said, for the last 3 days, sleeping like crazy, stretching, walking around a lot, just again, getting the energy to flow. It's important to take care of the body, folks. It really is. It really is. It really is very important to take care of the body, to keep the energy flowing throughout the body, because it makes the meditation easy. Like, I woke up today and I meditated, and I didn't meditate for very long. It was very powerful because the energy is already flowing. I just said, in that state of consciousness, which, I would say, in a more energy cultivated state, like, say now for me, I can sit here and within a few minutes, I'm already in a meditative state because the energy is flowing. I don't have to resist it. I don't have to try. That's another thing. I was trying too much. I'm tired. I want to, but I have to sit there and meditate. I have to sit there. I'm going against the flow here. There was a lot of resistance. I felt like I was resisting something instead of going with the flow of it. Like when I meditate on my own time, if I feel the energy of the meditation requires me to lay down, I'll lay down. If I feel like sitting, I'll sit. So I flow with the energy. And usually I meditate throughout the day, whatever the meditation method that I do, I flow with it almost. Like I'll flow with it. If I want to lay, I'll lay. If I want to sit, I sit. So I flow with the Tao of the moment. But there, I just felt it was too much structured. It's too much structure. So that's my asshole. That's my experience. I didn't find it enjoyable. I didn't find it very resourceful. But I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I did it. And I'm 100% sure that my friend's experience is going to be completely different. I got a feeling it's going to be overwhelmingly positive. And I'll bring her on the channel. Okay, and we'll so you could listen to different assholes. You could look at different assholes, right? Because again, if you go watch people's experiences on YouTube, you will see them overwhelmingly positive. Okay, and again, I got a feeling my friend's experience is going to be overwhelmingly positive, because otherwise I would have gotten a message from her saying I left early too, which it's now day 9, I think. So it's just gonna be today and tomorrow, and then I'll go see her, pick her up the next day. So yeah, I guess if it's something you're thinking about and you're like, well, this guy is just, he ruined it for me, and like, what's going on here? Everybody talks good about it, and he didn't enjoy it, blah blah. Well, let's wait. Go watch other people's opinions. Most of all, just go try it. Who cares about other people's opinions? Go try it. You can leave any time. If you don't like it, you leave any time. You say, I'm leaving. You leave any time. I wasn't the only one that left. There was in the male section, I think 3 other people that left. So you can leave any time. You're not restricted. You can leave any time. Go try it. If it's something you're thinking about, go try it. Because for some people, they need that discipline. They need that no pain, no gain model to meditate. Okay, maybe you're I don't know. People go there for different reasons and they have different experiences. So go try it. And I'll bring my friend here to talk about her experience when she's out. Okay? All I gotta say is I'm glad I left at day 5. I'm glad I recovered the energy over the last few days, and I'm ready to do whatever the hell this thing here manifests. I'm ready to let the energy manifest again. The energy's high again today. I'm pretty excited, and let's rock and roll. Let's keep going, baby. So glad I'm making these videos again. Glad the energy's back in again. Glad to be speaking with you guys again. And it sounds like there's going to be a lot of videos coming out today. So the force is strong. That's it. I'll see you guys in the next video.